Bro, that's worth billions of dollars. If I were to tell you right now what I have done, that'd be worth. So do you understand how many people want to do what I have done? Yeah. This is unprecedented.
This is Andrew Tate. In this video, I'm going to show you how he used genius marketing and a deep understanding of human psychology to take over the internet and get filthy rich. Let's start the story right when he gets rich. Andrew Tate got rich running a webcam business. Starting with just his 2 girlfriends as his employees, he hired more and more women, growing his business for years and making millions of dollars. He ended up with over 75 women working for him, making $600,000 a month. Through his webcam business, he became wealthy, but he realized it took a lot of work. He decided to use this money to create and sell courses that he could make once and sell indefinitely. As a state chess champion in Indiana, a multiple-time world kickboxing champion, and a millionaire entrepreneur, he had a wide range of marketable skills to teach. He sold courses on getting girls, getting ripped, boxing, chess, essentially anything he was good at or had any knowledge in, he created a course to sell. Tate got even wealthier off these programs, and in combination with his profits from the webcam business, it seemed he should have made enough to retire. But he was hungry for more. He was now a successful multimillionaire who had broken out of the system and wanted to show how much of a scam the system was. Specifically, the very system that told him he needed a degree in order to be successful. He became focused on exposing the education system.
So that's the war room. Then we have Hustlers University. The reason I started Hustlers University is because I was arguing with someone about how pointless the modern education system is. I think the modern education system is nothing but an indoctrination machine. I think they use it to indoctrinate the youth. I think it's a waste of fucking time.
What, to brainwash people?
To brainwash people, of course it is.
He wanted to prove to people the education system was rigged to trap people in debt with a worthless piece of paper. So in spending most of his life researching how to get rich outside of the system, he decided to try to sell that knowledge on a large scale, confident that an education through his course would be worth more than an education through college.
Because the educational system would collapse if the game wasn't rigged. A degree is more expensive every year, yet more of them exist every year because there's more graduates. Double inflation. Scarcity equals value. Degrees are not scarce, they mean nothing. And every year loser peons celebrate graduation. 99.9% remain broke forever. And the ones who make money didn't make it from the degree. They made it from something else.
Yep.
So he created Hustlers University, where he would sell his wealth building knowledge for the low price of $49 a month. But he had one issue. No one had ever heard of him. So why would they spend $49 a month on his university? He needed to get his name out there, and that he did. This is called a marketing funnel. Marketing funnels represent the journey a customer must take in order to go from never hearing of you to eventually owning your product. And this marketing funnel is what Tate has mastered. Step 1, awareness. Tate needed people to become aware of him before they could possibly consider buying from him. So how did he do that? He went on podcast after podcast and said the most controversial, outlandish, polarizing comments in order to attract attention.
Said that a lot of the world's problems could be fixed if women walked around with their body counts on their forehead.
You know what? So many women say to me, "You're so, Andrew, you know what? You're so rich, but you're smart and you're actually very intelligent. And I know you'd get really bored of a robot." And I'm sitting there thinking, bitch, I wish to God you were a robot. You better shut the fuck up. We talk about star signs?
In addition to his polarizing ideas and comedic delivery, he was an excellent communicator who used an abundance of hand gestures on purpose in order to attract visual attention in a world where attention spans have never been shorter. His wild gesticulations capture attention because the brain is hardwired to pay attention to sudden movements, because movement could be a threat in our environment and our brain is hardwired to pay attention to it. The combination of his outlandish comments, humor, and attention-grabbing behavior helped him go viral over and over again. But going viral isn't enough. How did Tate get people interested in him and think of him as more than just another Alex Jones? Now that Tate had been exposed to as many people as possible, he needed them to consider him. So how did he get people to consider him? In order to get someone to buy, he had to prove that he had ideas worth paying for. And how did he do that? He offered a new paradigm. He's shouting from the rooftops that you have to escape the Matrix.
The basic premise of the Matrix is that humans are nothing more than batteries for the machines.
I use this analogy a lot, maybe I overuse it, but you need to find a way to some degree to escape the Matrix.
When I talk about the Matrix, I'm talking about the systems which have been created by society, which are deliberately designed to enslave.
And this came at a perfect time culturally. Modern men are more lost than ever, and part of it is due to our cultural paradigm. A cultural paradigm is defined as a group of habits and beliefs that control the behavior of people in a certain area. And what are some of the habits and beliefs that control our culture in the West? Well, first, that money equals success. And second, that college is needed in order to become successful. Have you ever wondered why there's such an obsession with money in our culture? It's because our current cultural paradigm is to gauge our worth through wealth. The metric of our worth as human beings is how much money we make, and society tells us we need a degree in order to make good money. But the reality is, even if you do everything right, get a good degree and a good job, the best case scenario is you become wealthy 40 years from now while you're too old to enjoy your money. Sure, you may make 6 figures if you're at the top of your field, but the modern system still needs you working until you're 65 in order to retire comfortably. So the best case scenario is we don't actually become wealthy, we become indentured servants until our old age. And is that success? Of course not, but society tells you that you need a good job that pays well. However, underneath it, you don't even actually want money. You want the feelings and experiences you believe money will give you. And what feelings would all the money you could dream of give you? If you won the lottery and could quit your job and do whatever you wanted with your life, what feeling would you have? Freedom. And this is at the core of Tate's message. The only way to become free is to escape the matrix. And how do you escape the matrix? Tate claims the only way is to pursue an alternative path outside of the matrix, which will make you enough money to buy the freedom to do whatever you want with your time. So Tate's claim is that wealth is not money, wealth is freedom. Freedom to travel wherever you want, freedom to say whatever you want, and freedom to do whatever you want. And this creates cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is defined as the state of having inconsistent thoughts or beliefs, especially as relating to behavioral decisions. Essentially, the brain cannot hold 2 opposing thoughts at once. You can't think that you're rich and poor at the same time. Your brain, in an attempt to get rid of the inconsistent beliefs, will pick a side unconsciously. We've been exposed to the cultural paradigm our entire lives that we need to go to college, get a good job, work hard, and then enjoy your golden years. Tate's beliefs are the opposite. He claims college is a scam. You need to work for yourself, enjoy your life now, escape the system. He constantly repeats that you need to escape the matrix, and everything he says goes against everything we've been led to believe our entire lives. And this creates cognitive dissonance in the mind. We cannot believe that going to school and getting a good 9-to-5 job is a good idea while also believing we need to escape the education system and work for ourselves as an entrepreneur. So the brain leans one way or the other. Either you justify your decisions to stay in the system by calling him an a-hole or a fraud, or you start to consider buying in. Which brings us to part 4, conversion. Tate doesn't make money just going viral, making misogynistic comments, and telling people to wake up. He gets exposure from that, but he gets paid when you buy from him. We are bombarded with thousands of advertisements every single day. How does Tate tip people over the edge to convince over 100,000 people to pay $49 a month for his course? With his understanding of human nature. Psychologists discovered in the late 1920s that the most effective way to motivate people to buy things was to make them feel on a subconscious level that they weren't good enough without the product. Tate discovered this and ran with it. If people felt they were getting by okay, they wouldn't be motivated to spend $49 a month on something that would cost them time and energy. So Tate goes to work making sure you know you have a huge problem.
Or you go back where you fucking started, Wagey. Someone has to fucking flip the burgers, dumbass.
So this is a non-brokey cruise.
This is a non-broken cruise. This is how it feels to not be broken. So I'm showing you a taste of the life you'll never have. Because
Nice.
you are poor.
Time is what?
Money.
Money. That's right. Time is money. You're going to spend time preparing food? You're broke. You're fucking poor.
You're a brokey, a wagey, you're a slave. Tate's over-the-top delivery disguises his insults as a joke. However, what he's doing is just cleverly repeating the point over and over again without people feeling insulted. He's hammering the idea into their subconscious mind that they really do have a serious money problem if they're not a multi-millionaire. If you work a job that doesn't make millions, you're broke. If you cook your own food, you're broke. If you don't fly on private jets, you're broke. And while it might come across as humorous in his delivery, being exposed to this repetition actually works as effective advertising for him. Suddenly, whether you're aware of it or not, the idea that you're broke is planted deep in your subconscious, and the more Andrew Tate you're exposed to, the more that seed grows and grows. And he's hammering the idea that you should feel ashamed if you're not rich. Now, us humans like to think that we're logical creatures, but we're not. We're emotional. And the more negative an emotion we feel, the more inclined we feel to take action in order to get rid of that emotion. One of the biological functions of negative emotions is to alert us that something needs to change and motivate us to make that change. Every time Tate calls you a brokey, he's watering that emotion just a little bit more. And that emotion that he's watering is a feeling of shame that motivates us to take action in order to feel worthy. And how do we feel worthy? Andrew Tate offers a solution. He'll teach you how to get rich, and then you won't be worthless anymore. But do members of Hustlers University actually get rich? Upon even a little Googling, you find out that none of his members are making the multi-millions he promised. In fact, one of the guys they're advertising as one of their best success stories made 12 grand in 3 months. The fact that their very most successful guy makes less than 50 grand at that trajectory doesn't really add credence to the idea that Hustlers University is creating millionaires. If one of their best guys is making 40K, what do you think the average guy who goes through Hustlers University makes? Scraps, if anything, of course. But how does Tate convince his followers, who aren't making the money they believed they were going to make, to stay? Which brings us to part 5. So how does he get people to be loyal? By selling and solidifying a sense of belonging. Humans are tribal and all long for belonging. It's been proven that a sense of belonging is crucial to our life satisfaction, happiness, mental health, and even longevity. This is because humans have an instinctive need to belong. In the past, if we didn't belong to a tribe, we would die. The more advanced society gets, the less we depend on the tribe for survival. But the need to belong is still there. Tate fills this gap by offering a community of like-minded people. Tate realized when he was running the cam girl business that men weren't most lacking in sex. They were lacking in companionship and connection. Tate speaks incessantly about how Hustlers University and the War Room are only for elite-level, hustling, entrepreneur-minded people. Joining this group promises you status in a supposedly elite community. Upon joining, Hustlers University then puts you in a Discord and in contact with tens of thousands of other like-minded people. And Tate does this on purpose at a critical time in society. The younger generations are the loneliest generations of all time. While a staggering 73% of millennials report being lonely, it's actually been found that Gen Z is even lonelier and the loneliest generation of all time. That's why Andrew Tate is targeting these young, impressionable, and extremely lonely kids on TikTok.
You understand you're the sum of your network? Why is your network full of jackasses?
So when Tate speaks about network, it's just really another word for community. So really, at the heart of his beliefs are, we need freedom and we need community. And he's not wrong. The dream we were all sold of being guaranteed success through a good education and a good job is becoming less and less believable each day, with people feeling lonelier and more depressed than ever. So Tate screaming about escaping the corrupt matrix actually holds weight to many people in this current climate. In the midst of our struggling economy, the highest rates of depression of all time, here comes this guy shouting from the rooftops who seems completely different than everyone else, and he's promising a solution. In short, Andrew Tate is not selling a course on getting wealthy. He's selling a new paradigm and a community to support you. So once he's changed their paradigm and gotten them attached to the community, how does he get them to do the marketing for him? Advocacy. Social proof is the phenomenon where decision-making becomes credible and validated through the behavior of others. If 3 of your friends told you the same show was amazing, you'd probably check it out. Basically, we take other people's word for things. So Tate gets his customers to give their word to anyone who will listen. In offering his members just a $5 referral bonus, he gets thousands upon thousands of his members working hard for a multiple of that $5. If one person can get 10 to join, they made their monthly investment on the course back. Their referrals lead to more members who know more people and can expand the network indefinitely. You'll see no shortage of Hustlers University members clamoring about how great the program is, coincidentally with their referral link in the description. And humans have an innate instinct to follow others. There's safety in numbers after all. The same follower's instinct that Tate claims the system is using to herd you into a horrible life, he plays on to get you to pay for his course. The more people he can get to recommend it in hopes of a referral bonus, the more legitimate it seems and the more people are willing to try it out. So in short, Andrew Tate's ability to attract attention in combination with his understanding of human nature and ability to identify needs helped him navigate to the top of the internet unlike anything we've ever seen before. Here's the marketing funnel again, and here are the psychology concepts that Tate mastered for each part of it. Awareness. To hear of Tate, he had to master attention through polarizing statements and movement. Consideration. To consider Tate, he used cognitive dissonance to expose you to a paradigm opposite of your own in order for your brain to be forced to pick one. Conversion. To buy from Tate, he used motivation and talked down constantly to people in order to get them to feel shame in order to motivate them to purchase his course. Loyalty. To retain his customers, Tate used the tribal need for belonging and offered a community to the loneliest generations ever. Advocacy. To market to more customers, Tate used social proof and offered his followers a referral bonus to do all the marketing for him. He built the pain in a problem most people didn't even know they had, and then he solved the problem with a solution. By his course. While I agree with some of his beliefs, Hustlers University is not the solution he promises. Still, success leaves clues, and I believe if you were to take anything from his story and this video, it's that first, you should move boldly through life believing you're something special, because it will always serve you better than not believing in yourself. Second, you should always strive for more and better circumstances, better mentors, and better everything. And lastly, of course, think for yourself. Otherwise, your thoughts and beliefs will be given to you by people who don't have your best interest in mind. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know who you want me to analyze next. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.